Hi, I'm Wes. Welcome to Secureish, a cyber series where we explain cybersecurity topics and make it so easy even a baby could understand it, or your grandma. Now, in our last explainer, we talked all about how websites, servers, and Wi-Fi all work together behind the scenes. And as your data moves through all those systems, you get a ton of convenience, right? But you also get risk. That brought us to the CIA Triad, which, you'll remember, stands for confidentiality, integrity, and availability. A really key concept for keeping all your info safe.
But that raises a huge question. What actually is data? I mean, we talk about protecting it constantly, but what exactly are we trying to protect here? All right, let's get into it.
So, at its simplest, data is just information. But really, it's all the personal stuff about you that you create and share online every single day. You could even say it's kind of like the digital story of your life. Let me show you a few examples you'll definitely recognize.
Okay, first up, think about all the photos and videos you have on your phone right now. Every single one, every memory, every moment is a piece of data. It's a little part of your personal life, just stored in a digital format.
And what about all the texts you send or the emails you write back and forth with friends and family? Yep, that's data too. Those are your private conversations, and that makes them a really personal kind of information.
And then you've got your passwords. Now, these are one of the most important types of data you own. Seriously, think of them like your digital keys. They unlock everything and prove that you are who you say you are online.
And of course, there's the big one, your financial info. Your credit card numbers, bank account details. This stuff is incredibly valuable data that you have to guard really, really carefully. So you see, when we say data, we're talking about all these little pieces that together make up your digital life.
But here's the thing. Not all data is created equal. I mean, you wouldn't treat a postcard you get in the mail with the same level of security as, say, a sealed legal document, right? It's the same with our digital stuff. We have to sort it to know what needs the most protection.
So a simple way to start is to split data into two big buckets. On one side, you have public data. Think of this stuff like a park bench. It's just out there in the open for anyone to see. Sharing it is no big deal. But on the other side, you've got restricted data. This is more like a locked safe in your house. If this stuff gets out, it could cause some serious harm, so it needs the absolute best protection we can give.
Now let's get a little more specific with data that can point directly to you. This is called Personally Identifiable Information, or PII for short. I like to think of PII as puzzle pieces. One piece, like just your first name, doesn't really reveal much, but when you start adding other pieces, your last name, your address, suddenly the puzzle comes together and forms a very clear picture of you.
And inside that puzzle, some pieces are way more private than others. We call this sensitive personal information, or SPI. So if PII is the outline of the puzzle, SPI is the deepest colors. We're talking about your health records, your political beliefs, things that are at the very core of who you are. This is the stuff that needs the absolute highest level of protection, because if it gets exposed, it could cause the most damage.
So if all this data is so personal and so valuable, who's actually trying to get their hands on it? Well, the answer is a lot of different people and companies, and all for very different reasons.
Okay, first up on the list are data brokers. You've probably never heard of them, but trust me, they've heard of you. These are companies that basically work in the shadows, collecting and piecing together your digital footprint. And as you can see, they get it from everywhere. Public records, your social media posts, trackers online, even from the apps on your phone. Then they bundle it all up into a super detailed profile of you, and they sell it.
So who's buying this stuff? Well, you've got advertisers who want to show you ads they're pretty sure you'll click on. You've got other companies using it to make big business decisions. And then, unfortunately, you have scammers and criminals who buy it to commit fraud and identity theft. Your personal data has literally become a hot commodity.
And look, this isn't just some made-up scenario. You probably remember the whole Cambridge Analytica scandal, right? Personal data from over 50 million social media users was taken without them ever knowing. It was then used to build these incredibly detailed psychological profiles, all for political advertising. It's a huge, real-world example of how our personal data can be misused on a massive and pretty dangerous scale.
Okay, I know that all sounds pretty intense, but the good news is you're not powerless here. Not at all. We can actually take back control of our digital selves. It all starts with just understanding the risks and then building a few simple, smart habits.
See, when a data breach happens, the impact can be anything from just kind of annoying to completely life-altering.
If someone just sees your data, that's a confidentiality breach. It might be embarrassing, but what if they change it? That's an integrity breach. Or what if they lock you out of your own accounts entirely, a breach of availability? You can see how the consequences can get bad really fast, leading to things like financial fraud or even full-blown identity theft.
So what can you actually do about it? Here are 3 simple but super powerful habits to start right now. First, create strong and unique passwords for every single one of your accounts. Do not reuse them. That's like using the same key for your house, your car, and your safe deposit box. Second, just take 5 minutes and go adjust the privacy settings on your apps. You would be shocked at how much information you're sharing by default. And third, just keep an eye out for scams. If an email or a text feels weirdly urgent or just way too good to be true, it probably is.
At the end of the day, it really all comes down to this one question. Your data tells the story of who you are, what you do, what you like, where you've been. In a world that's constantly collecting and selling that story, you have to ask yourself, who's in control of your narrative?
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Secureish, which is brought to you by The Tech Playbook Inside the Stack.
In this cyber series, you're going to learn all about how our digital lives create risks, but way more importantly, you'll learn the practical habits and real solutions to stay secure every single day. Because cybersecurity isn't just for the experts, it really is for everyone.
So make sure you follow the channel, like our videos, and drop a comment to join the conversation and take control of your digital security. We'll see you next time.